bit of Steely Dan, Barrytown, off Pretzel Logic. Jane got me some original vinyl of Pretzel Logic for one of my birthday presents, so that's why I'm playing that. And that's what this is about. Not my birthday, because that was... I'm doing this to thank people for my presents. Because the Bollocks gang got together and above and beyond the Call of Duty, I mean, they shouldn't have done it at all, really. Or you. It's you I'm talking to. I do these things to thank you for stuff, and then you thank me for doing them. So, so this is sort of. I've got some questions, which I might not. I can't get to all the questions. Anyway, but I'm using this to thank people. So I'm going to get straight to it. Right. So I've got loads of different boxes, all from the general Bollocks gang. Anyone just tuning in for the first time, what's the Bollocks gang, right? It's you lot. It's if you listen to this, you are one of the Bollocks gang. Happy birthday, you miserable little. So it's from the usual suspects: Bella, Freya, Gunnar, and Andy, Joey, Leopold and Loveday, Leslie, Mark, Ollie Pickle Fan Club, Ollie Afterlife, the old laughing lady, Otis the Parrot, Scarlett, Selena, Susie, Titch, Bestest, Vampire Squirrel, Welsh Felix. I mean, I'm going to be saying those names a lot today, but in that particular hall was a lovely book of languages, a collapsible bucket, because I'm going to end up in a bucket, obviously, and some lovely chill out aromatherapy stuff to, I think that's to stop me using bubble bath, which is brilliant. I've got some lovely vegan chocolates from melon toffee and fudge. I would have eaten those immediately, but I was saving them to show you, to thank you. So, I'm going to forget some people. Oh, what's the big card? Hold on. Oh, God. Right. No, that wasn't the big card, I think, well, that's Mal Toffee fudge. And the humans, Amy and Michael. What's this? Oh, this is from Susie Hope. Look at this lovely thing. Look. This is a thing with all the bollocks going in there. I mean, you can't see it. You can't appreciate how amazing this is. But it's a lovely book with everyone in it. Look at this. I mean, the effort. The Bollocks gang again. I mean, they're all in there basically. You could imagine. Just to. Oh God. From Trey and Fur Angel Susie Hope. Sent by them, but this is all from the Bollocks gang. Look at this. Look what they did here. I mean, this is pretty incredible. Same lot, innit? The same dudes, the same gang. There they all are. Old Titch and Roots, Gunnar, Susie, Otis, Miss Emma, Gordon, Ralph, Wilf and Leslie, Pax and Welsh Felix. If I've forgotten one of your names, you know I'm including you. But look, anyway, look at this. Look at these amazing things they have done. Nothing's as good if you don't share it. Little quote from Afterlife. and so beautifully done. Oh my God, I'm a very lucky boy. I can't get over it, how thoughtful this is. Should I ask a question as I'm going along to Ollie Comic Strip? Um, if I had to lose one of the following things, the ability to enjoy the fun things in life, the ability to enjoy music, or the ability to enjoy food, including wine. Well, I couldn't not enjoy the fun things in life. That is what life's all about. Then music. I assume I can still eat food and drink wine, and it still does what. I just won't enjoy it. I used to be like that anyway. I didn't really enjoy food. Till I was like 18, till I was in my 20s, I thought food was just giving you fuel for going out and having fun. So I'd do that. I'd lose the ability to enjoy food because I could still enjoy everything else in life. I'm putting these away carefully. Sorry, guys. I know this isn't as entertaining as usual, but I have got to thank anyone because I'm just over the moon. I'm blown away. No one else gets this. I always say that George Clooney doesn't get the abuse that I get, but then he doesn't get all the presents either. Right. Oh, and this is lovely as well. Again, I should have organised this. But, this from Leopold and Loveday, and obviously all the gang, and a couple of things from the guy who the Waltons was based on, and so it's great that you've remembered all the things that I've ever talked about and said. What else is in there? Something from my bunion, a bunion sleeve, some vitamin D, some orthopedic things. So good. Oh, some catnip, some drugs for the cat. I've kept them away from her, but she knows something's going on because she kept sniffing around the box all the time. Look, Charlotte's Web, some shot glasses from Walton's Mountain. I mean, I'm sure I've forgotten something, but it's just amazing. So thank you to everyone, the whole Bollocks gang. I hope I've mentioned everyone's name once. And also got some balloons as well from Mel Toffee and Fudge. So I'll ask some questions so we don't run out of time, shall I? Titch, did we really land on the moon? Why haven't we been back since? Because well, yes, we did. We landed on the moon. Why would they lie? Why would they fake that, Titch? Well, why didn't they just, if they were going to fake it, say we landed on Mars? We landed on the moon, I'm pretty sure of that. Why did we go back? Nothing there. Nothing there. That's my answer. Gunnar, you and David Bowie in Extras is such a momentous moment for TV. Looking back at your career, what accomplishment do you think, do you still not believe you're a part of? Well, that is up there, isn't it? Writing a song with your hero, getting asked to write The Simpsons, getting asked to do the Golden Globes. I think that might be it. I still think that might be it though. Writing a song with David Bowie. Yeah, surreal, isn't it? And then a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's mental. That's mad, isn't it? That's the first one to get that was Dean Martin. They must be running out of people. So we started with Dean Martin. Right, there's no one left. Well, what about that fat bloke? Yeah, okay. Good one to him. uh, Bella, I've been off my stick game recently, and I failed to find any really good ones worthy of being carried home. We know you like a good stick, so do you have any really good tips for finding really good sticks? Well, I mean, you've got to be on the lookout. Uh, and what I'd say is, don't just look at the stick as it is. Look at the potential of the stick. So you might see a stick and go, "Oh, that's too big." Cut it in half, right? You'll go, "Oh, it's destroyed this and there's too much bark on it." Take the bark off. Okay. So look at the potential. Look within the stick. Like when Michelangelo saw a big lump of rock, he didn't go, "That's boring, a big lump of rock." He saw David, didn't he? He thought, "Oh, I can make that into a man, tiny little." That was his first thought, I think. He thought, "Well, look at this big rock. What are you doing? Making a man." "Oh, right. What sort of man?" "Just a handsome man, a tiny little." "Right, okay." Michael, Mr. Michelangelo, have you got a little? No, no. I'm just this man. So look at the potential of the stick, Bella. Joey, I'm 9, so in human years, I'm not far off 60. Who do you think looks best for their age? So there's a beautiful picture of Joey and a bath pic of me, right? So I know what he's done there. He's tried to suggest that he looks better, but he's not in the bath. So I don't think he'd look his best if he was in the bath. I saw Ollie fall in the bath once, right? When she was a little kitten, I was in the bath, and she got up to have a look and slipped, and it was like a fucking cartoon. She slipped in the water and went like that, and she was out. And then she just was in the corner, like looking at me, and she looked like a little fucking drowned rat. So Joey, I mean, you've got a picture of yourself looking great there, but I don't think you look so good if you fell in the bath, is what I'm saying. Dougal, bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, monsieur Ricky. You'll awaken to discover you have been wrongfully convicted of a crime. On the way to jail, what story would you invent to tell the other inmates to make you look tough and ensure you don't fear dropping the soap in the shower? I just wouldn't shower. I just stink. Make sure no one will come. Like I've got to worry now about people coming near me in prison. I think I'm pretty safe now. Like they all come around and go, "Oh, it's the new place." I go, "Oh, fucking hell. No, you're all right, mate. You're safe." So what would I do? Well, hold on. I'm assuming. But if I was wrongfully convicted of something, they go hear about Ricky Gervais. He got one. Could I make something up? I'm assuming that I'm not. They don't know who I am. Like, you know, I'm not famous. They don't know who I am. I'm just a bloke. What would I do if I was just a bloke? I'd say I was a hitman for the mafia, because that's a double whammy, isn't it? Not only do I say I'm connected, but I'm like, you know, so I'm scary even within the mob, and they leave me. I just say, yeah, I just got sorry. I was a hitman. I can't think of a scarier thing to say. So yeah, Dougal. Stupid question. Me go to jail for a crime I didn't commit. Scarlett. It must be amazing editing Afterlife 3, bringing the story to life with all the amazing characters, especially Auntie the dog who plays Brandy. Do you have a favourite part of the editing process? Well, yeah. Auntie is involved in one of them. I've done a lovely little thing, a little special tribute within the thing to Auntie. No spoilers. I think my favourite part of the edit is finally putting the music on and making everything fit in, because it's sort of, you know, uh, it's chicken and egg. So you plan it for a song and then you do it, then you put the song on, then you have to make it fit, and back and forth. You might have to edit the music or edit the thing. So I'd say it's putting the music on. It just elevates it. Tony, I just accidentally hit and hurt my elbow walking around the house, then instantly called the door frame as if it was its fault. Do you do things like that? Also, do you think you'll be an even bigger hypochondriac? I don't think so. I don't think I could get worse. In fact, I think I'm getting better, because even though I'm closer to death, it's fairer. Do you know what I mean? Like if I was 18 and I went to the doctor, I thought, oh, I go, this is so unfair. But now I'm going, you know what I mean? I'm not so angry at the cosmos. So, yeah. Do I bump? No, if I bump into someone, or the first thing I think of is, whose fault is that? I'd love to blame someone. It's like, love someone. It's usually me. Like, who left that fucking cupboard? It was me. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you trip on the pavement, whose fucking fault is that? Council. It's never mine. So no, I don't blame the inanimate object. But if it's someone's fault, it instantly annoys me. Even the weather. I think, who can I blame about the fucking weather? Is there anyone who told me not to bring out an umbrella? Oh dear. Daniel, I know you're getting old now. Brilliant. What do you think you'll do next after Supernature Tour is finished? More stand-up, TV or film? Definitely more stand-up. I can't wait to finish this one, because it, with a pandemic and getting that. And Netflix already bought the next one, and I can't wait to do that, because every time I think I can be even braver and, So definitely stand-up. In fact, someone asked me, I don't think we'd get to it, but someone asked me if I had to give one thing up, or if I could only do one thing out of writing, directing, acting and stand-up, what would it be? It would be stand-up, because it's all of them. So definitely, I want to do another stand-up. I think I want to do stand-up. It's the standing up bit that's the problem now. I've even thought that maybe my next stand-up tour I could sit down. I don't think people would care. I'm not Lee Evans. I don't jump around. I don't do backflips or dance or sing a song. So I could just come out, say thanks very much, and sit down in a nice armchair. I mean, Dave Allen used to sit down. Yeah, he was a stool and he was upright. But I might fall asleep, particularly if I'm drinking, because when I drink and I'm standing up, you sort of, you're sweating it out and stuff. If I was sitting in a chair, I think I'd drink more. And then, like fucking granddad from Only Foot. What if it was a commode? So I can't. Please welcome to the stage, Ricky Gervais. I come up maybe in a mobility thing. I come out like that, and that just stay on that, or it just sort of tips me into an armchair, and that armchair is also a commode. So I could be sort of telling jokes and having a little wee or something and a drink. So I wouldn't have to worry about, because sometimes on stage I think, I better not drink too much because I've got to jump in the car and I might need a wee. Whereas if I was doing stand-up and drinking and weeing, I mean, that is the best worlds for me. You got to have an ambition, haven't you? So definitely more stand-up. Definitely more. I want to do another series. I love TV. I thought I had to drop one of that. The least likely is more film, because films are what they used to be, and you put all your you film for like 8 weeks, and it's just an hour and a half. Whereas TV, you can. It's different. But out of all those, definitely more stand up. Probably more TV. Louise, hi Ricky. I'd like to ask you about the Supernature tour. There was some very controversial topics discussed in the warm-ups. Will everything make it into the proper shows, and can Netflix choose or remove sections, or do they have to show the whole thing? Well, I hope they make it. The reason they wouldn't make it is because they're not good enough, or it's too long. Like, Humanity was 86 minutes long live, and I had to cut it down to between 60 and 70, and they let me have it at 76. So it was already longer than specials are meant to be, and I cut 10 minutes. So I don't think Netflix would ever make me cut anything unless they thought, unless I was breaking some sort of broadcast law, which I don't. I don't think they do it because they're scared of controversy or getting cancelled. But sometimes I lose stuff because I've already done a joke about that thing, or it's too long. There's some routines that are fun, but I haven't worked out how long they are versus how funny the punchline is. So do you know what I mean? So you just want the best, tightest, most laughs. Also, I want a bit of a narrative. I don't just want a string of the funniest bits, because I want people to go away with, oh, that whole hour felt like something. Do you know what I mean? You want it to be more than the sum of its parts. So all those things determine how long it is, what goes and what stays. But Netflix have never told me, they've never said you've got to take that joke out because it's too dangerous or whatever. That's never happened. But I'll take that if it's not. It's just, if it doesn't feel right. Bird on a Mission. I hope you had a fantastic birthday. My question is, are we born with empathy, or do we learn it from our parents, peers? And why do some people have none? Could it be an abnormality in the brain? Well, I think it is, because I think there's some fetal development. Like, if the mother's like an alcoholic or a drug addict, it can affect the development of the kid's brain, and they can be born without sort of empathy. So it's definitely neurological as well. Having said that, everything being equal, and we're all born the same, you certainly learn kindness as well, or the opposite. So I think it's a bit of both. But I'll ask Sam Harris that on my next phone call. Bird on a Mission. Oh no, that was Bird on a Mission. This is Leopold and Loveday. Why does the way we perceive time change as we age, and the way we experience the passage of time? Is it the same for animals? No, I don't think animals think. I've only got a couple of years left, like we do. Well, I suppose time is relative. Time is relative, isn't it? If you're doing something you hate, pain that lasts for a couple of seconds feels like fucking hell ages, and doing something you enjoy is over in no time at all, isn't it? I suppose also, like now, well, everyone, but wherever you are in life, each day is a higher percentage of the rest of your life that you've got left, isn't it? Soon, one day, that day is going to be 100% of what I've got left, and working backwards. And we don't know what that is. We don't know what percentage we've got left. So, we better enjoy it and be kind to each other, like you lot are to me. What a very lucky boy I am. Well, I hope I've mentioned everyone at least once. I think I've shown the majority of all the gifts. I've answered most of the questions from the gang. Thanks again. It was, I think, the best birthday ever. Don't do it again, though. That was from a 60th. Don't spend your money on me anymore. You can spend it on things like this, for example, where all the proceeds of this book, and it's brilliant, go to All Dogs Matter. And this book, I think, is brilliant. It's the questions that Bella asked me, and I answered over the time here. There's little Pickle. Ollie's in there. And look, there's me and Bella collecting sticks. I'm going to be horrified if I've forgotten someone. But you know I'm thinking of you, whoever you are. If your name wasn't called out on any of these things, you know, I have seen your name, and I really appreciate it. So, especially whoever called me a miserable. Thanks, gang. What a joy. So, yeah, thanks for following. Buy question time. Buy a little Ricky bag. All Dogs Matter. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
Now, I am no defender of Trump, but I'm no defender of lousy, bent journalism either. And I'm sorry, that Panorama documentary was lousy, bent, dishonest journalism. But we should all be ashamed of it.
Trump was a defender of the Proud Boys and white supremacists. You're ignoring the facts, Kevin. You were taking, right, you were taking a 12 to 15 second clip in a full programme, programme that was broadcast a year ago, and I'm not aware of any big public complaints about it.
No, because it played for our general
years
we all
previously, and ignoring all the other evidence.
The reason that there were no complaints...
They should not.
The reason there were no complaints about that edit were because people didn't spot it. And the reason they didn't spot it was because we all, mostly, think that Trump did incite violence on Capitol Hill. So to see that edit simply confirmed our prejudice.
We're talking about an error of judgment. I mean,
Massive.
you call it a lie. And I would say they were doing it probably for dramatic effect, and they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. You know, why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it, and their top echelon.
Director General and the CEO
This
both
is
resigned.
within one of our great allies. You know, this is supposedly our great ally, BBC. The government has a chunk of that one, I guess, but that's a pretty sad event. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech, and they made it sound radical. And they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. But it was very dishonest, and the head man quit, and a lot of the other people quit. Where are you from?
BBC.
Here's another beauty.
It's a good line. Impartial, free and fair.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that criticism of the BBC and John Sopel, who was talking to there, apparently was well-founded, because the so-called impartial and accurate public service broadcaster is nothing but.
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President...
Because tonight the BBC is facing serious questions over its credibility after the Daily Telegraph exposed a Panorama segment that heavily doctored a speech by the American president in 2021, hours before the infamous January the 6th Capitol riot. As you're about to hear, the corporation spliced together two quotes 1 hour apart to make it seem like he encouraged an insurrection.
Played the following clip.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all. The BBC spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart. So let's go through it again.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between Capitol and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later that he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we fight. We fight like hell.
I did one interview once, right? This is true. About 4 or 5 years ago. It was for a posh paper as well, one of the Sundays, posh UK paper. I thought, you know, they could be a bit, you know, snidey, but they're fair. You know, there's a certain level of journalistic integrity, you think, and sometimes, you know, it's about them as much as you. They want to make, but I thought that'd be fine. A profile piece. I had some DVD coming out or some telly program, so I thought, yeah. So I went along to my office, and my PR person was there, and the photographer turned up, and we were waiting. As you know, I hate lateness. So eventually, my PR person called the journalist, and she went, "Oh no, I thought it was tomorrow." "No, it's today, the photographer's here and everything." She went, "Oh no. Oh, can we do it tomorrow?" We went, "No, it's busy tomorrow." And so he said, "Look, we've got to do a phoner. We'll have to do it on the phone now." She went, "Well, I can't do it now." "Oh, God. I'll call you later." So, okay, so I went home, called her, and she went, "Oh, sorry about that." She went, "Oh, I wanted to meet you in person." I went, "Oh, yeah, sorry about that." She went, "Because my friend did an interview with you and he said it was really good." That was odd, wasn't it? Mainly social. So anyway, we did the interview. It was alright. And I said, "Oh, we could do a bit longer if you want, as it's not face-to-face." She went, "Oh, cheers." So the interview comes out in the paper. It starts off, "I went to Ricky's office. He leaned back in his chair." She was pretending she was there. His body language said he did not want to do this. He was combative. What? So I don't know why was she lying? I didn't know whether it was she'd already written it and she'd sort of, you know, wanted to do this sort of psychological piece, or she was scared that her boss would find out that she missed, got the wrong day. But she went on about it, just making up things about how I was sitting, what my office was like. And also, if you're going to make stuff up, and there's a chance that I might blow the whistle and go, "She wasn't even there, it's all made up," you think she'd be at least flattering in her stuff she'd made up. She wasn't. She was slagging off the office, saying my body language was funny. And then she went, the photographer arrived. Gervais looked relieved. And then she said, "But he liked my interview so much, he insisted we did longer." Bigging herself up. So, there you go. So, yeah. So now, truth, the horse's mouth. Cheers. You can take a horse to beer, you can make him drink. So yeah.
I said all along to you, and many of you laughed, I began to get shadow banned and strangulated because I said so, that the 2020 presidential election in the United States was rigged. I said all along that January 6th, which was in any case no more than a particularly rumbustious night on Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow. Far from being an insurrection, it was an after-closing time brawl in Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow. I told you it was a state provocation. I told you it was a continuation of the Russiagate hoax, which destroyed Trump's first presidency and was the proximate reason for the rigging of the presidential election that put him out. I said all along to you that Joe Biden could not possibly have polled 82 million votes. Simply impossible. He campaigned from a basement. He was already semi-senile and perfectly visible for anyone who was paying attention. I told you that when I went to bed, Trump was winning. And when I woke up, Joe Biden had beaten him like a drum, had beaten him by a landslide.
I think the problem that the BBC has had is this happened a year ago. And an apology should have been made instantly. If a mistake has been made, you've got to apologise instantly. And then I don't think Tim Davie or the head of news would have had to resign, because they would have corrected the mistake immediately. It went unreported, unacknowledged, unapologised for. And I think that is where trust becomes an issue.
And the thing that worries me most about how this has all unfolded is the fact that when Donald Trump got involved and called the BBC corrupt, that we've had these 2 resignations overnight, and we've now had his press secretary claiming this as a victory for Trump. Now, the BBC belongs to Britain, and I think we should all be concerned whether it's foreign powers or indeed domestic powers, and we know that there are the likes of Farage and Reform who would love to see the BBC destroyed. That really worries me, because we cannot see the Trumpification of our politics and our media landscape. We've seen what that's done in America. So this is a moment for the BBC to reset and restore trust.
Panorama is a standing disgrace to journalism and to the British people. It has been used as the sewer over and over again to feed the bilge required to build the narrative that the British state wanted to build. It destroyed Jeremy Corbyn's chances of becoming the Prime Minister of Britain. That very show, the Panorama, which accused Corbyn and Labour under Corbyn as a cesspit of anti-Semitism, when nothing could have been further from the truth. But that was Corbyn. The British state was very keen to see the end of Corbyn, see the end of any possibility of a real Labour government. This time, it's much more serious. This time, Panorama has been caught splicing Donald Trump's speech on January 6th to falsely accuse him of directing the events of January 6th, when the truth was the complete opposite. When the truth was that Trump told everyone to go home peacefully. They twisted, as they had twisted so many things, from the miners' strike through Corbyn and now Trump. They twisted and spliced and edited and re-edited a speech that had Trump saying the precise opposite. That's much more serious because, well, Trump rules Britain. Trump is the president of NATO, the president of Western Europe, the president of the United Kingdom. And when the BBC was caught out falsifying the words of their own president for their own twisted, centrist narrative, they had to go.
You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
Tired straight away. I'll tell you why. Right? It's not just the hot bath and the stingy eyes, and that I'm old. Right? It's the fact that I've got a frozen shoulder coming. Now, if you remember, about 10 years ago, this one was frozen, right? For about 18 months. You have like 6 months of agony. If you touch it, it feels like your arm's coming out of its socket and you've been electrocuted and you fall on the floor and cry in agony. I used to wake up screaming where I'd rolled on it, right? And this one's getting it now, 10 years later. You can only have one in each shoulder, apparently. I don't know why. So this one's safe. And when this is over, that's it. I can sort of lift it to there. And it's got to the phase now where I'm not sleeping. It's been about a week where there's nowhere you can lay because your weight of your own shoulder, you can't lay on it. You can't even lay on the other side because the weight of the shoulder squeezes all the badness. I'm not a doctor. I've had some acupuncture, which is sort of temporary. That's as far as I can go. I couldn't be a Nazi, could I? Can't get above there. So anyway, that's why I'm tired. I've been having to schedule things around definitely having a nap at lunchtime because I know I wouldn't have slept well.
Two of probably the most foundational defining things about American history is that we beat the Confederates and we beat the Nazis. And I don't know what side people may be on today, but I still am not rocking with anyone sympathetic to Nazis. And I will do that until I am 6 feet in the ground. Like, kind of foundational to me as a human being. And so, if you're cool and want to defend the Sig Heils and the Nazi salutes, all the whatever you want to do, that's on you. I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm not with the Nazis. How about that? But it's very important for us to assert these things. Because in times like now, what people want is for all of us to just give up. They want all of us to just give up and say, America's gone to hell in a handbasket and we're done. And just let them do what they're going to do. No. If there are no good people left in the world, I want to be the last one. And that's the ethos every single one of us can take.
I'm tired, my fucking frozen shoulder. That's as far as I can get it. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
To hear the words spoken, you do not have the right to remain silent. That terrible wound from which you saw Charlie Kirk's life's blood leaving his body was not the entry wound, but was an exit wound. And that is now proven beyond peradventure. Now that's important because if that was the exit wound and the entry wound came from the other side, that means Tyler ain't the shooter. And it means that gun isn't the murder weapon. And you have to ask yourself, if they're lying about the shooter, if they're lying about the murder weapon, they're lying about the whole thing. It's obvious. They're trying to tell you a furry. My God, I never thought I'd live long enough to know what a furry was. And I now know more about furries than I ever wanted to know. A furry whose boyfriend, girlfriend is a trans and who was found wandering on a roof but didn't have a weapon that was found in the woods. He's the patsy, all right. He may even believe that he was involved in it. He may have been told it was a Nicolas Cage movie. He may have been told anything, but he wasn't the shooter. And that weapon with the scope on wrong, such that it would have blown his eye out if he'd fired the shot from a Mauser. That wasn't the murder weapon. The murder weapon came from far more up close and personal. And personal may be a vital qualifier in the statement I have just made. Because it seems to me that who killed Charlie Kirk knew Charlie Kirk, and maybe knew him very well.
This week, George Galloway was detained under the Terrorism Act at Gatwick Airport. Held for 9 hours, his electronics seized, even his wife's Palestinian-coloured fingernails were scrutinised. This was a blatant act of political intimidation, part of the UK's increasingly draconian assault on anyone who speaks up for Palestine. It's not an isolated case. Investigative journalists like Asa Winstanley have had their homes raided. Richard Medhurst was detained and interrogated at Heathrow over his reporting. David Miller was also stopped under counter-terrorism powers after returning from Lebanon. Their real crime? Daring to expose the UK's role in Israel's genocide in Gaza.
Did you see that video? I think it came out yesterday or the day before of the Israeli team, the soccer team, the football team, soccer as we call it in America, coming out of the field. All the fans turned around and turned their backs, and then the coach of the Italian team started screaming at them before the match, saying that they were butchers. And then, by the way, they proceeded to kick their ass. But, you know, it's just, I've never seen something like that in a sporting event where the athletes...
I've been in this cause for 50 years. Don't tell the wife, she thinks I'm 45. 50 years I've been in the Palestinian. Now, in the beginning, you could have fitted all of us into this studio. It's a big studio, but you could have fitted everybody in Britain that thought like me into this studio. Now it's everybody. Now, only the real knuckle draggers are continuing to support Netanyahu and Israel. And I don't believe it's ever going to change. It's no more.
But what can it lead to?
Confident
okay, but if it doesn't change and it continues and it just gets worse, until the United States says we've had enough, I don't see a change in terms of their behavior. Do you?
Your Congress is bought and paid for by the Israel lobby. Everybody knows that. They don't even make a. They don't even try and disguise it. There's people whose names I've never heard, from places I've never heard of, getting 7-figure sums from the Israel lobby. So, bought and paid for.
Or becoming FBI directors or CIA directors.
Yes, quite. And so, until that changes, you're right. It's going to be Israel and America against the world. But that's not a good place for America to be. Why would America want to be in that place for a country of 8 million people on the Mediterranean? How is that in your interests? If you really believe in making America great again, if you really believe in America first, eventually it's got to dawn on legislators, certainly has dawned already on their voters, that we have to stop digging deeper and deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole. And I believe that that will happen. I know America is not a perfect democracy. Nowhere is. But no government can forever fly in the face of the sincerely held opinion of its people. And I don't believe yours will either.
So you start with this angry character. You go, what's funny about that? Well, he's rude to people. Is he clever? He's sort of clever. Is he malicious? Yeah, but he's also got a conscience. So you're already mixing these things up. You know, he wants to hurt someone's feelings, but then he feels guilty, so maybe he shouldn't. It's not Marvel. It's not someone who's always really good and someone who's always really bad. Everyone's a mixture of all those things. Bad people do good things sometimes, and good people do bad things sometimes.
To hear the words spoken by an armed policeman, his jacket off so you can gaze at his sidearm, that you are not under arrest, but you are not free to leave. To hear the words spoken, you do not have the right to remain silent. To hear the words spoken, that if you do not comply and cooperate and answer any and all of my questions, you will be automatically committing an offense under the Act. That's when I really knew that liberty in England, in Britain, in this once proud democratic country a country that for many centuries boasted of the Magna Carta, many centuries boasted of its reasonableness, of its moderate nature, and castigated all others around the globe for falling short of our standards. That's when I knew that we as a country are in serious trouble. Fascism is on the march in the West, not dressed in swastikas, but in liberal garb. Under the cloak of liberalism, everything that liberalism said that it stood for is being abolished. Here in Britain, a 61-year-old woman, Sarah Wilkinson, admired and respected across the land, was raided and arrested by 12 police officers. 12! Some of them wearing balaclavas, for a tweet that she wrote some time ago defending the Palestinians from genocide. And in France, little Macron is going nap. Not only did he arrest the owner, founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, having invited him to dinner at the Elysee in fine mafioso tradition, he's run rumble out of town, and he's playing footsie with Marine Le Pen, defying the result of his own general election, called by himself. And in Palestine, the killing goes on and on and on.
Triggered, that's the worst bit.
I'm triggered.
Yeah, we all are. We're all triggered, live with it.
This was a live report in August last year.
Well, because...
Hey, yo, free Palestine! Free Palestine!
I think, apologies for the language you're hearing, but a sense I think you can hear there. That happened right here during the height of the riots last summer. People from the Muslim community in this part of Birmingham had heard that far-right protesters were on their way, so they'd come out onto the streets to defend them. As we tried to drive away, we were chased by a man with a knife who tried to slash the tyre of one of our vans.
He's gonna us.
What country is in this video? No, it's not Pakistan. That is Wilmslow Road in Manchester, where people celebrate Pakistan Independence Day. Hey, it's good. Just normal British lads in a British city doing British things. Not just Manchester, though. This was Ilford in London. Lads, I've only got one criticism for you. I think your flags are so small. That's better. That's how you do it. Let's just check in on how Birmingham's getting on. Oh, and Birmingham Council got involved. They turned Birmingham Library into a giant Pakistani flag. Lovely stuff. So the council can light up public buildings in the Pakistani flag, but they can't organise bin collections. Oh, I mean, I'm trying not to be dramatic here, but the smell is absolutely overpowering, I'm afraid. Flies everywhere. Yeah. They're raising council tax and letting the city rot in its own filth, but the Lord Mayor... all the time in the world to hoist the Pakistani flag. The council took down St George's flags from their streets because they said that they could put lives at risk. So they actually took the flag of this country down. Now, last time I was in Birmingham, there were Palestine flags all over the place. And now the Pakistani flag is everywhere as well. Look, hey, I don't know about you, but I'm not really sure that's integration, is it? And you know what puzzles me? Why so many people in Britain are actually celebrating Pakistani independence. You know, I mean, gosh, there are obviously massive human rights issues in Pakistan, aren't there? I'm not sure it's legal to be gay, is it? I don't know how women's rights are getting on in Pakistan. What is the honour-based violence like over there? But hey, what do I know? Happy Pakistan Independence Day, everybody.
A year on, we've come back to talk to people about that day and how they're feeling now. Why did people feel the need to go out on the streets?
The local community had lost faith in the local elected members as well as the local policing units. And they thought that the only way to protect themselves and the community was by coming out in force.
In every community we have our sort of, should we call them idiots, and you can't control their behaviour. There was a concern that the far-right group that was coming may well be armed. So I think we were just trying to counteract what they thought was coming.
Bordesley Green is a majority Muslim area, but these men invited Jerry, who lives here too, to give us a white man's take on what happened.
They were actually stopping cars, and then you can, on the social media output, there's white people in that car.
And chasing them, yeah.
They were looking for what they thought were the enemy, white people, and trying to find white people, which is why I stayed in my house.
We were very clearly there as journalists. We had a broadcast vehicle. I was actually reporting live at the time that it happened. So it was very clear the reason why we were there. So why were we targeted?
It was quite upsetting because obviously you'd seen me about half an hour prior, and then you've seen this, and it was just a handful of mindless individuals. We have them in our community, and you guys have them in your community.
But was it because we are
white
journalists?
No.
It's because we were white?
No, it's not because you're white, it's because they're actually bored. It's boredom. And they wanted a bit of excitement.
If we had all been Asian, would that have happened?
Of course. Yeah. I think it's just, like I said, it's the heat of the moment.
I'm keen to move the conversation on to ask how the current wave of anti-immigration protests that began in Epping have left this community in Birmingham feeling.
I would like to go and join them and stand out.
The anti-immigration
Yeah,
protests?
and the anti-immigration.
Why?
Because we have this problem within our own communities, and people don't talk about it. We feel exactly the same, and we understand how the English feel with the immigration.
So you're saying you almost want to go and join these protesters. However,
You feel
were
that you're
you
going there.
to walk up to the protesters, what do you think the reaction would be?
Well, this is it. They think I'm an immigrant, born here, 58, and they look at me as a foreigner or a migrant when I walk.
A lot of the crime locally now is caused by a certain diaspora of immigrants that have come into this area.
I believe that the average white guy isn't racist, they're just fed up.
Yeah. The question is for us now, as people who are born and bred in this country, what is our identity? Who are we? Right? So we, as a white person born into this country, you're automatically accepted. Are we going to be accepted? How many generations will it take for us to be accepted?
Yeah, it really kicked off with my my silly billboard campaign, particularly the ones that were banned. There's some that that couldn't go up in the tube, so we sort of mocked them up, and I tweeted them, and still got complaints. Obviously, we got one complaint. It was the one, "Don't jump, you'll make everyone late for work, you selfish prick." One bloke wrote to us saying, "I just saw this in the tube station, I'm horrified, I was triggered, please can it be taken down?" We wrote back saying it was never up. He went, "Oh, right. Triggered, that's the worst bit." I'm triggered. Yeah, we all are. We're all triggered, live with it. It means you're paying attention. Triggered. I see all these videos now on social media, like 20-year-olds with a nose ring sitting in their car crying because someone got their name wrong in fucking Starbucks. They wrote my name wrong. Right? Fuck me. Triggered.
All right, we got this chick at Starbucks trying to make some sort of point by putting Charlie Kirk as her name on her Starbucks order, and when the employees wouldn't say it out loud and hand delivered it to her, she completely flips out.
So you didn't call his name out?
You didn't call the name out? Yeah. She's recording right now. I am. Yep. Why can't you say his last name? Why are you being like, yeah, why are you being like this? Yes. Well, okay, why are you being like that to me? I'm not. I actually am making a point, a big point. I actually wrote a very good post prior to this. It's not. I wrote a very good post.
She wrote a very good post. She wrote a very good post to this before she made her point. This chick sucks, man. Sucks. Showing up to Starbucks to torment this poor girl who's probably working to make some extra dollars while she's at college. Cosplaying as Charlie Kirk while you immediately pull your phone out because you know this is going to cause a problem. Just living your entire life based on the internet and what sort of reactions you can garner based on your beliefs that you don't actually care about. You don't really care about freedom of speech and Charlie Kirk and political ideals. You just care about making waves on the internet and bothering some people that you view as the enemy. And then she has the audacity to do this follow-up video where she's crying.
I'm tired of everybody fighting.
Oh, I'm so tired of America being divisive because people like me don't actually care about other people, and I just set out to catch them in gotcha moments that might compromise them at their place of work, so hopefully they'll get fired so I can make a point on the internet that I'm better than them because of my political party. You know how fucking tapped you gotta be to run around town ordering coffee, writing down the name of a man who just got his fucking neck blown off in front of the whole world? Of course she's not gonna say that out loud. That could cause all sorts of problems for myriad reasons. Great SAT word, by the way. It is this sort of bullshit that has nothing to do with your political beliefs and ideology and your party and America and freedom. This is just you being a performative asshole on the internet for attention. For the 4,957,283,612th time, be normal!
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work.
You're not registered. You got your identity card? Let me see your identity card.
Yes, of course.
I want to see your identity card!
Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
Orwellian. Terrible. Oh, you've got me fucking started now.
One of our viewers got in touch and wanted us to ask this question. Ross Brown wanted us to ask you if you really believe that those profiting from human trafficking will think, oh dear, I have to check your digital ID now. I can't carry on paying you £1.50 an hour to work in my sweatshop.
I'm absolutely convinced that amongst the reasons that people travel through France, which is a safe country, to come to the United Kingdom, amongst the reasons is because it's easier to work in our illegal economy than it is in other countries. And we have to deal with that.
Bosses who are prepared to hire people illegally are not asking them for their national insurance card. So what's the evidence? What makes you think they're suddenly going to ask them for a digital ID?
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work, because we have to stop illegal working. If you look at any of the raids, we've massively increased the number of raids on working premises. It is absolutely clear that people are working illegally in numbers.
But why do you think that them having a digital ID, having to have a digital ID, would stop that problem when right now people are meant to have a national insurance number and card, and if they're not asked for that, a boss is willing already to break the rules? What's the difference going to be? Well,
the difference is this is on point of starting, not a retrospective exercise as it now is. It is an automatic collection of the information by the government, so we know exactly who is working in our economy, and it will help us enforce the rules that are there. But there's no point people saying to me, why do we need it, when we all acknowledge there is a problem. People are working illegally in our economy. It is amongst the reasons that people want to come to the United Kingdom. We have to deal with that. I made a pledge that we would do whatever was necessary, use whatever tools were available to deal with illegal migration. I intend to do so.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Certainly in the UK now, we're at a crossroads. We have got a right-wing proposition that we've not had in this country before. We've gone on for decades with elections which are basically either a Labour government or a Conservative government, pitched usually pretty much on the centrepiece of politics, the centre ground of politics. So, but now we face a very different proposition with Reform and Nigel Farage. It's that march that we had here 2 weeks ago in London, in Whitehall, that sent shivers through the spines of many of our communities well away from London, not just those in the immediate vicinity. So there's a battle for the soul of this country now as to what sort of country do we want to be, because that toxic divide, that decline with Reform, it's built on a sense of grievance politics, identifying something real for sure, but relying on the problem existing in order for their politics to persist.
It's great as well because it's all about looking at the evidence. In fact, it's so fucking apt for today. So it's about a jury in a. I won't give it away, but it's a big court case, and there's a jury. Everyone's wanting to see what they want to see for their own benefit, just like today. People not looking at the evidence, just looking at what's good for me. People covering up evidence if it ruins their narrative. People fucking denying science these days because it doesn't fit into their narrative. Terrible. Just terrible. People creating a new dogma with its own fatwa, bullying people because they think differently. Orwellian. Terrible. Oh, you've got me fucking started now. Oh, God. And he's a hero because he's the least popular person in the fucking room and he doesn't care because he's principled. Oh my God, it's so fucking good. Oh, it's so good. It's so apt for now. It is so apt for now. What's happening in the world. People not looking at the argument, just looking at who's saying it. People getting annoyed. Evident, the truth being inconvenient. Fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
Your body cams will be transmitting that. The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
When you come to government and what government's doing, there are artificial intelligence tools, and some of them I know that Oracle have developed around financial management for government, but also tell us a bit about because you're right at the forefront of this revolution, what it means for what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on.
How do you take advantage of these incredible AI models? And the first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. You have to take all of your healthcare data, your diagnostic data, your electronic health records, your genomic data. And in the Middle East, in the UAE, for example, they're incredibly rich in data. They have a lot of population data. The NHS in the UK has an incredible amount of population data, but it's fragmented. It's not easily accessible by these AI models. We have to take all of this data we have in our country and move it into a single, if you will, unified data platform. So we provide context. When we want to ask a question, we've provided that AI model with all the data they need to understand our country. So that's the big step. That's kind of the missing link. We need to unify all of the national data, put it into a database where it's easily consumable by the AI model, and then ask whatever question you like.
So you're really, through the use of this, you're revolutionizing the way government works, right? The services it provides, the way that it operates. What about things like financial management, procurement? How can AI help a government operate more efficiently, more effectively, give a more direct and better service to the citizen?
Well, we have these modern financial systems. So, countries can, and all, for example, the AI system will help you do that. But again, the secret is to get all of that data in one place. Without having the basic data, it cannot answer the question about your country. I think countries are very uncomfortable with keeping their data in other countries' data centers. So I think part of our essential infrastructure, just like airports obviously need to be in our country, or they're not terribly useful. Ports need to be in our country, and they're not terribly useful. Data centers, because of the privacy requirements around the data, need to be in our countries, or they're not terribly useful. They need to be in our countries, but they also need to be secure. And there are new technologies right now. This is the last year you will ever log on to an Oracle system with a password. Next, by the middle of this year, I'm quite certain you are Tony Blair. So how do I know? Well, I look at you, I hear your voice, I listen to the kind of questions you ask. I'm pretty sure you're not synthetically created in having this conversation. The security system, we have biometric logins. The computer recognizes you. It recognizes your voice. It might ask you to put your index finger on the return key. And we're absolutely certain it's you. There's no reason to enter a password. In fact, passwords are too easily stolen. Data centers and data is being taken hostage all over the world. The ransomware business is a very, very good business. It's getting bigger and better every year. We tend not to talk about it because the American FBI has a simple advice to someone whose data has been ransomed. Just pay them because there's nothing we can do about it. But there is something we can do about it, not after the data is stolen, but before the data is stolen. We can make sure that we're using the latest security technology, and it is going to be biometrics assisted by AI to make sure that you are in fact Tony Blair, and I'm sure you are. Now, I would love to live to be 150 years old.
Well, there's an amazing opportunity to reimagine the state, the way that government functions, and the service that it can provide for its citizens.